Hello, and welcome back to God Really? My ongoing conversation with Chris Price, the lead pastor at the Calvary Baptist Church in Coquitlam, British Columbia. Just this past weekend, one of the biggest religious events in the United States just occurred. Yes, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. All kidding aside, I think there's more praying going on at that game than there is in all the churches in Canada and the United States on that particular Sunday. Now, I also find it rather interesting that prior to the game, players from each team are praying to their God, hoping that their God will help them win the game. And when they score points in the game, they look to the heavens as if it was their God that helped them score. Speaking of the Super Bowl, in sports betting, there's something called arbitrage. Arbitrage is the act of betting on both teams at the same time, so you really don't care who wins. Now, it's a very complicated skill and it takes years to master, but in the end, whoever wins, it doesn't matter to the arbitrage bettor. The profit they win is very small, yes, but they win nonetheless, day in and day out. When it comes to religion, for me, I find some things about Buddhism rather attractive, and yes, I do find some things about Christianity also attractive. So I wondered, can't we apply arbitrage to religion? I mean, can't we take a little from Buddhism and a little from Christianity and put it together and still be right? So I asked Chris, why are Christians so adamant that their religion is the only religion, the only path, the only true answer? Why can't we apply arbitrage to religion? Here's what Chris had to say.
Well, I think first, truth isn't determined by majority vote. So I think Christianity could be true, and God's revelation for us, revelation meaning God unveiling who He is and what He desires, if 10 people believed and the whole world didn't. But why there aren't more Christians? There are a lot. I mean, there's over 2 billion, let's say. It's the biggest religion in the world. But I don't really know the answer other than maybe Christians have failed in sharing the good news about Jesus. Maybe it's on us. We haven't been the hands and feet of Jesus in the world. We haven't been sharing the gospel with people, you know? I think there's something too where we do have a tendency to suppress the truth of God, to be our own gods, to define reality as we see fit. I don't think that's why someone's a Buddhist and not a Christian, but I don't know if there's always an openness to God's revelation, that God has to do a miracle in our hearts, open our hearts to respond to the gospel of Christ. Truth, by definition, is exclusive. What I mean by that is, if it's true that there is a God, it can't be true at the same time and in the same sense that there isn't a God. I mean, so if it's true that there is a God, that excludes the statement that there isn't a God. Just like if it's true that you're married, it can't be true in the same time and at the same, or in the same sense that you're a bachelor. And so I think truth is exclusive. So if it's true that Jesus is the Son of God, God in the flesh, if it's true that He died for sins and rose again, removing the barrier that separated us from God, if that's true, it can't be true. This is just the nature of truth. At the same time, that Jesus is not the Son of God, that His death was just a tragic waste, and God didn't raise Him. And that's what Judaism says, that's what Islam says. And everyone's doing it, right? If someone says, I don't like this idea, there's only one path to God, I think every path leads to God. Well, with that very statement, they have just excluded the vast majority of religions who think that their path is the path to God, right? They've said, my way's right, and your way is all wrong. So everyone's doing it, and Christians always feel so bad. Oh, Jesus is the only way. That's offensive. Everyone's doing it. I think all ways lead to God. Well, that just excluded most of the world, right? And you're saying my way is right and your way is wrong. And so we all do it because it's the nature of truth. So I don't feel bad saying that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through Him. Now, I don't think that's a statement that's meant to keep people out, which is how Christians have sometimes used it. I think it's an invitation to come in. We've all sinned. We've all run from God. God comes after us and says, here's the one path to my lap. Come home. And I don't think all paths lead to God, but I think God will travel any path to find a person. And I think he is actively reaching out to people from all different religions and walks of life.